So basically, I take content from other creators that I think is cringy, and then I like remake it, but mock them.
Okay, I promised you guys all I was gonna get really, really messy here. Here it is. This is the beginning because I want to talk about this specifically. As a newer creator who only gained popularity recently, and it all happened very quickly, I've obviously been on a lot of people's radars. So I have met a ton of creators that you know in many different areas, not just news. Because veteran creators have a pretty good sense, I've noticed, of seeing who's rising fast and like who they want to latch on to. But I can confirm for you that the horrible feelings you have about these people, in my opinion, are correct, because the worst people I've ever had to deal with or interact with come from that genre or sector of like parody video that's really just making fun of other people and calling everyone cringe. And I can think of a few right off the top of my head that were particularly awful to deal with, but they often follow that extremely predictable pattern of like popular kid or mean girl in high school who was obviously not very nice to everybody, but they were never actually that funny or really had any discernible talents. So they grew up and they had to figure out what to do, but they didn't have the skills to write like their own original comedy bits. So they either go and steal content from other smaller creators, and now that I mention that, you will see it everywhere, or at least they'll make it similar enough so that it's plausibly deniable. Or they'll do what they do best and mock other people's content for being cringe or lame and weird. Because they literally just grew up to be adult bullies. I could give you a number of examples of this, but specifically there was one creator that I had to spend a weekend working with because I was working with a company and we were all there. But the whole day they were like, oh, I want my stuff to be so funny. Like, I really want you in the video, because I have a lesser known skill of actually really being good at like comedy writing. As you can see, some of my stuff really takes off when I do it. I'm secretly quite funny behind the scenes, but they kept twisting my arm even though I didn't want to be publicly associated with them in any way at this point after having met them. And eventually I was just like, fine, I'll be in a couple seconds of your video. What do you want me to do? And they were like, I don't know, just be funny. And I was like, oh, no, you want me to write your video? So I did. I wrote their video for them. I was in it for a couple seconds. It did numbers. Yeah, they're literally like the mean kids in high school who grew up to be the exact same people and still exploit the weirdo losers and have us write their homework for them. Which isn't that big of a shock, because your entire page being like content theft and then also just making fun of other people is a pretty good indicator of you not having much of a soul, in my opinion.